We switch gears. We're back to talking soccer right now. We welcome in from the women's soccer team, Lisa Kevorkian. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us here on BU All
Hi,
Access.
Lisa.
How you
Nice
doing?
to meet you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Well, 5-5 on this season. 6 of the first 10 matches have actually been at home, which I don't think has really happened very often in women's soccer history. It's been a few home matches, and you take a look at your resume. Obviously, you're always building a resume right now. The 3 losses at home to number 12 South Carolina, number 2 Stanford, and number 6 Boston College. The competition that you guys have faced has been unbelievable. What have you thought of those games so far this season?
I think those games were a good test for us. Definitely. 5 of our losses. We're 5-5 right now.
Right.
5 of our losses have been against top 25 teams. I believe all 5 of them, right?
Yep.
We have Virginia, Monmouth, South Carolina, BC, and Stanford.
Yep.
And they're all great competition.
Yep.
I think they really set us up well for the American East Conference that we're going to face.
And you were able to beat number 14 William and Mary, which obviously a big win over a ranked opponent. You look and you talk about the whole RPIs and the rankings and everything, strength of schedule. This is an unbelievable schedule you guys have played, and we talked about it a few weeks ago with head coach Nancy Feldman. And the one thing she mentioned is, these are games now that you're not just playing to get ready, but it's also these are games to win. To beat these competitions, that you guys are at that level. What do you feel like in the middle of those games? Were there, in those moments, do you feel like these are games all of a sudden you guys are going to pull out right in the middle of that?
I definitely feel like there's turning points, especially when we score a goal or one of our keepers makes a great save, and just the whole morale of the team definitely gets built up from that moment. And there comes a point where you're going to win unless something catastrophic happens, which hopefully it doesn't, but.
Let's talk about the last 2 games, both 3-0 wins. You guys seem to be doing things in a rhythm, which is always great. You get into a rhythm, two straight 3-0 shutouts, up to 4 shutouts on the season. We're keeping a count. We'll have to get a little lower third as we keep doing this.
What was our figure for shutouts? We talked about that in the first show.
Last year it was 11, and I think we put it as 10 this year. So you guys are almost halfway there. So if that's motivation, use it. Please do. That's, tell that to the team and everything. But,
I will.
But these last 2 games, do you feel like anything you took from the other against those ranked opponents were used against these last 2 games in the 3-0 wins?
Yeah, I think we're definitely finding a rhythm. I think most of the games we've won this season have been 3-0 or 3-1 or something differentials. So I definitely think we're finding a rhythm in that. That's our comfort zone, and 3-0 comfort zone is good for me.
Well, right now, leading the team in goals with 6 and in points with 14, also in shots, leading the team with 20. And you come over from the Pac-10 as a grad student, was at Cal Berkeley before. This is kind of a great start for you to come right in and have the success. Could you have imagined it any better?
I could not. I mean, a lot of things had to fall into place for me to be able to come here and play soccer. And I'm just so excited that I've been able to be a part of this. And to have this success early on in the season has just been phenomenal for me.
And obviously, as a grad student, even though you're new to the team theoretically, you're expected to be a leader from your experience playing soccer in general. How easy has that transition been for you and the adjustment to not only the team, but saying, I also have to be partially a leader on this team as well?
It hasn't been too difficult. I had a lot of leading experience back at Cal. It's just kind of different having to kind of feel out the different players and
You're
the traditions.
Things again. That's
exactly.
Right.
The traditions, getting to know people, how they respond to things. But I like to leave a lot of the leadership up to our 3 amazing captains.
Well, now since you're new, I have to ask, you just talked about traditions. BUBC is kind of a tradition that's been going on for a few years now. What did you think of that rivalry? Obviously,
versus Cal Stanford.
So I hear, exactly.
There you go.
Just
You've been part of a couple of great rivalries.
Exactly. Definitely going to the BC game, you could see just how amped up and juiced everybody was. And I think we really put up a good fight. And, if a few things could have gone our way in that game, I think we could have beat them. And I think they're ranked 4th this week.
Yep,
they have
moved
them at
up.
4th.
Yep.
So that would have been a great win for us. Let that one slip, though.
What about the whole process that brought you 3,000 miles from Berkeley to Boston University? What entailed that decision? What was that all about?
Berkeley, I definitely would have taken my 5th year at Berkeley, but they didn't have a communications grad program. And I've always wanted to try out the East Coast, try something new, maybe live in some snow for a while. which I'm
You say this now.
quite nervous about.
Here's somebody, Brian, looking forward to the snow.
You
That's
say
a little
this
bit of a
now.
different
I'm waiting.
spin.
I
I'm
want her to
looking
come back
forward-
on when it comes and see what she says then.
Looking forward to a new experience. Not
We'll have
so
her
much.
back on in February. We'll talk
That's
about
right.
how much fun she's having.
Exactly.
Well, being from California, obviously you're not used to the snow, but I guarantee you, after the first fall, you'll say that's nice, and then you're done with it.
Sure.
Trucking the
Yeah, the
classes.
novelty will wear off real quick.
But I mean, that's definitely just trying something new and seeing the great communications grad program at BU was definitely a pulling factor for me.
Well, you guys are already in the second half of the season. We mentioned this with field hockey as well. It's unbelievable that we're already starting the second half of your regular season campaign, and you open up now this weekend with the America East portion of your season taking on New Hampshire, who's coming to down. And you were talking before about, all these games are preparing you for the America East. How do you guys feel right now going into this matchup with New Hampshire and starting your America East play?
Well, we like to think of our season in thirds. We have preseason and then the America East Conference, and then we're going to be looking forward to the NC2As. But first, we have to take care of business in the America East, and that starts with New Hampshire on Sunday. All the teams in the conference think right now they have a clean slate. It's 0-0-0.
right.
So, it's anybody's game on any given day. So we're definitely going to take it one game at a time and just try to pick them off one game at a time.
I have to ask this question. I went to COM here at BU, and so did Bernie before I think acronym for COM was even invented.
No,
but-
actually, I was in CLA, Brian. That was a mistake in my, which is another dead acronym, another archaic acronym. But I was actually in CLA.
Well, I had heard of this, but what is exactly a communication studies major? I was confused by it.
It's pretty broad.
Okay.
It covers a lot. Right now I'm studying anything from press releases to making presentations in front of people. So it's definitely all-encompassing and sets you up for a broad range of jobs in the future.
So this was just practice run for you right now.
Exactly.
This is
I
the
would love to do
broadcast
stuff
side.
like
Well,
this.
are you looking to get behind the microphone?
I
Is that
would
your goal?
absolutely love it. My dream job would be Michelle Beadle's job on Sports Nation. Love it. So hopefully.
Well, here's your starting point. We'll say we
Exactly.
knew you back when you were on BU All Access.
The woman with a plan.
That's right. How old will Bernie be then? We're not
No
counting
comment.
right now. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend
Thank
against
you
UNH.
so much.
That's Lisa Kevorkian.
You really
joining us.
enjoy that, don't you?
I have to get one in at least.
Absolutely,
this show, that's
at
for
least
sure.
one, yeah.
BU will host the University of New Hampshire in their America East opener on Sunday on Nickerson Field as part of a doubleheader with the men's team. The women will take on UNH at 1, and then the men's team will host Harvard at 7 p.m.